obstetrics and gynecology, my absolutely favorite rotation. Like, guys, this was my favorite rotation of note. Anybody who's ever spoken to me, anybody I've bumped into, anybody who's asked me knows that this was my absolutely favorite rotation. And like, obviously this video is not about me telling you guys again why I love obstetrics and gynecology or whatever, but I had to put it out there that this rotation is actually the rotation that it thinks it is. It is the nicest for me. It was the nicest, the most practical, the most rewarding, and but anyway, today's video is not about that. Today's video is about my first childbirth. Not like my childbirth, but like I helped deliver a baby. I delivered a baby into this world. I helped somebody bring a baby into this world all by myself. And like, I'm actually very excited about it. I'm happy about it. And yeah, that's what I'll tell you guys about. I'm gonna tell you guys about my first childbirth and how that went, my first delivery, how that went, the complications. My goodness, it was not an easy one. It was actually quite tricky and very challenging, but I'm glad that everything eventually went well and we brought this baby girl into this world, and yeah, that I was able to do that, you know. So yeah, without any further ado, if you're interested in this video, please like, subscribe, keep watching. And yeah, so one thing about obstetrics is that people give birth. Like, women deliver babies left, right, and center. Every second of the day, literally, there's a baby that's coming. There's somebody that's being born. Like, literally, you will be delivering babies from here to here to here to here to here. So initially, in the whole rotation, so I was in a group with Marlene and Nomonde, so with the three of us, and we were in the same group, so like with a unit, right, running with a unit and using that unit schedule. So obviously, as we were on call and stuff, we'd be delivering babies and stuff, but we were doing that together because like we weren't very like I don't know what the word is, but we weren't very confident initially doing this on our own. So we'd always do like deliveries and stuff together, just so like nobody forgets anything. So we start, okay, do this, okay, next person grabs this, other person grabs that, you know. So we're always just helping each other and bringing these babies into the world and stuff. So we'd been doing like quite a number of deliveries together, but I had never done one alone, right? So fine, came this other day where we were in labor ward. And now labor ward, the day wasn't busy. Like, it's usually very like rush, birth here, birth there, you know. But like that day, I mean, people were just like screaming and trying to, like, you know, in pain and stuff, but nobody was really like giving birth and stuff. There weren't a lot of ladies who were giving birth. So anyway, fine, so we're just walking around the cubicles, just checking like, oh, okay, what's happening here, and then we get into this other cubicle where there was this doctor who was there, and then he's like, does anybody want to deliver this baby? And I'm like, me? I'm like, yes. Like, I literally was just like, yes, I want to deliver this baby. So he's like, okay, sure, you're gonna do it then, you're gonna do it by yourself. I'm like, sure. Now I'm like, okay, let's all calm down, gather your thoughts. You've been doing this, you can do this, just align yourself. I'm there, I grab my sterile gloves. I'm like, you know what, we're gonna do this. I'm happy. So now he says to me, no, this lady's membranes haven't ruptured. So essentially what he was saying is that this lady's water had not broken. So you know how like when people are pregnant and stuff and they're gonna give birth soon, the water breaks, right? And then they start feeling like, oh my gosh, the baby's coming. So for her, she felt like the baby's coming, which the baby was, but the water had not broken. So now I was just like, okay. So now he's like, no, you need to break her water. So like, you have to be the one to actually artificially rupture her membranes or break her water, so that when the water comes out, then the baby can come out, because the baby won't be able to come out if the water has not broken. Now I'm like, oh my goodness. I've done this, but I've done it like once. I've only ruptured like a patient's membranes or like broken her water once, and now you ask me to do it again. I'm like, but like, let me just do it, because like the first round it went well, so here I hope it goes well again. So I'm like, okay, fine. So essentially what you do is like, I have to like PV the lady, so put my fingers in her vagina again, and then sort of, you know how a crochet looks? Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen like what a crochet looks like, and at the top there, at the end, it's got like this sort of hook thing. So now the same thing, the equipment that I was using also had a hook thing, so sort of PV there, and then you put the hook thing, which is gonna go straight up there, and then you just sort of rupture the membrane there. And I did that, and then the water came gushing out, And I was like, okay, it's time now. And after I ruptured the membrane, this lady started screaming now in pain, like this baby is coming now. And I'm like, okay, this is where I need to like focus, because it's very loud now, like machines are just beeping, this lady's screaming, and now I'm like, this baby needs to come out now. So I'm like, okay, I tell this lady I'm going to be helping you give birth, because obviously there's not much that I can physically do besides help facilitate this process, you know, because essentially the lady does everything, you know. So I'm like, I'm going to help you facilitate this process. You just have to work with me. You push when you have pains. You don't push if you don't have pains, right? I tell her. And you push, you must give it your all. Like, you have to spread your legs, head down, give it your all. So I'm like, ma'am, are we gonna do this? We bring this baby here and it's gonna be cute, right? She's pushing. Guys, when I say she's pushing, like this lady was pushing, but baby wasn't coming out. The baby wasn't coming out. Now I tell my mama, let's try this again. When you feel pain, you push. And then eventually I realized, like, you know, actually this lady, the baby's head was too big for like the sort of like the opening of the vagina, or rather the vaginal opening was too small for the baby's head. One of the two. Either the baby's head was big for the opening, or the thingy was small for the, yeah, essentially. But like the baby wasn't coming out. And I'm like, okay, so if the opening is very small, essentially what we have to do is that we have to actually cut. So what you do is that, so let's say this is the opening, right? You have to make a cut from there going there. So that's the vagina. So this is the vaginal opening. You make a cut going there to there, maybe like just deep there. And then when you do that, that's gonna allow for like the head to sort of come out, and it expands it a bit, right? So I was like, we need to cut her, or else this baby is not gonna come out, and that's not good. We need this baby to come out like now. So fine. Essentially when you cut when they're feeling the pains, when they're pushing, right? Because what happens is that because they're in so much pain, when you're actually cutting, they don't feel the cut, because there's just so much pain that's happening there. There's a lot happening. They don't actually feel the cut. Like most ladies are even surprised when you tell them afterwards, like, no, we had to cut you, whatever, so the baby can come out. They're like, you cut me? When? I felt nothing. So I was like, bet, get scissors and stuff. We there, like, as she's pushing, you just cut a bit, there you cut a bit, and the baby's coming out. Now she's pushing some. I'm like, yes, mom, you're doing very well. I'm like, let's keep this going. This baby's coming now. She pushes. Now the head comes out. I'm like, yay, the head came out. But now the head is stuck. Literally, the baby came out like this. Like the baby was just there, and the baby's stuck. Like nothing else is coming out. Now this mom was tired and she doesn't want to push him. I'm like, ma'am, not on my watch. This is dangerous. You can't stop, because if you stop, then this baby could potentially die. It's almost like you're strangling the baby. So you have to continue pushing. So now I tell her, I'm like, mama, we have to keep pushing. I know you're tired. I know this is a lot, but we're almost there. I just need you to push some more. In my head, I'm like, this baby is not about to die on my watch. I refuse. Because the baby can actually literally die because of like that, like being stuck there. I was like, no baby is gonna die on my watch. I refuse. So now I'm like, mama, we're working together now. When you feel the pain, you push. You give it your all, you push. I tell her, now she's pushing. Boom. Baby came out, and I was like, ah. Obviously I wasn't screaming or anything, but like I was just like, oh my goodness, thank you, Lord Jesus. Cause I was so stressed. Like I'm like, this baby, but I can't show that I'm like really stressed. I'm like, no, mama, we need to like work. But I was stressed. I'm like, imagine my first independent delivery, and this lady is not doing well, or the baby dies. Or I was like, no, I don't want that, and I'm gonna help facilitate this process to a point where this baby comes out. So baby comes out. I'm like, I bet baby is not really crying that much. So now I rub this baby. I'm rubbing. So when you rub the baby, it sort of like irritates them, and then they have to cry. Like it's important for a baby to cry. Like it is the most important thing. So I'm rubbing this baby, rubbing, just hitting it a bit on the back, like proper rubbing. Baby's crying. I'm like, yay, like we're good. We can move. So now I take the baby, show it to the mommy, a boy or girl. She tells me it's a girl, and I was like, ah. And then afterwards, we clamp the umbilical cord and we cut it. And then finally give it to a mommy while we're there, just making sure that this lady's still fine, the tear's still fine, whatever. We didn't go like down. So the other thing is that when a person is giving birth, as the person who's helping facilitate this process, you have to support the perineum. So what that is, basically the perineum is the space, so between, like say this is the vaginal opening, right? So like when you go down, there's obviously the anal opening. So the space between there and there is the perineum. And you have to sort of like support it as the baby's pushing, so that the baby doesn't push to a point where it causes a tear going down, and that is not good. We don't want that at all. So never hear people saying support the perineum. They're saying that make sure that we do not have any tears. So I checked the label, no tears. I was like, yay, I was happy. And then afterwards, we basically just like cleaned the baby up and started giving the injections that we needed and stuff. It was actually, also, guys, I was so happy. You'd say that was my baby. You'd say that I gave birth. That's how happy I was. The baby was so cute. I just want to hold the baby, like, oh. But yeah, baby girl, mama was happy, and yeah, everything went well. Like in the end, I was literally so nervous and stuff, but I'm just so happy that I've actually been able to acquire such skills, like to help during childbirth. Like I now know like different things that you can do, like what you can do, like how to cut, where to cut, you know, like oh, like there's so many things that I've learned throughout the rotation, and especially in childbirth, what you can do, where things can go wrong, what to watch out for, what to make sure it doesn't happen. And I was just very happy that I was able to bring something into the world. It's just such a beautiful thing. Women actually go through a lot. That's one thing I tell you about this rotation, is that women go through a lot. Childbirth is not easy. It is not easy at all. If anything, we should all be thanking our mommies right now, because damn, if that was like so difficult. It's such a difficult thing. Oh, my earring fell off, child. But childbirth is actually so difficult. But I was just so happy that I was able to help with that it went well, and that the mom and the baby are fine, and like, oh, so happy. Like the lady afterwards thanked me. She was like, oh, thank you so much for helping me, I know it wasn't easy and stuff. And I was like, ma'am, you did all the work, like you did it all, and stuff. So yeah, guys, that's basically my childbirth story. If you've ever delivered a baby yourself, tell me how that experience was for you. Did you enjoy it, or did you find it a bit like, ugh, you know, a bit creepy and stuff and not to your liking? If you've delivered a baby yourself, how did you find it? How was the process in itself? If you feel comfortable, let us know in the comment section below. So yeah, guys, that's just about it from me. I'm gonna leave it here. Because I could go on forever. But yeah, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and yeah, until next time, let's keep the love going. Let's keep the channel growing, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.